Hey guys, welcome back to Magic TV. My name's Craig. It's 9 o'clock on a Monday. It's time for a 5x5. Now, this is where I take 5 subjects related to magic. I spend 5 minutes talking about each subject, and then I move on to the next subject. It's always quick, it's always snappy, and you never know what you're gonna get. Now, last week on the 5x5, I did a slightly controversial video. I did 5 controversial pieces of advice for beginners in magic. So if you're new into magic, 5 pieces of advice that I'm pretty sure some people, maybe all people, wouldn't agree with. And it went really well. It was a great video. Lots of people watched it. Lots of people commented on it. Lots of people agreed with it, which surprised me. So I'm doing a follow-up to that video this week, and I'm doing 5 pieces of advice that are controversial. 5 controversial pieces of advice for professional magicians. Now, when I say professional magicians, I mean anybody who makes a living out of performing magic. It could be a semi-pro, it could be the person who does the odd gig once or twice a month or once or twice a year. It could be a full-time pro that makes all of their living from magic. I'm going to give you 5 pieces of advice that I wish I had when I first became a pro, that I think are really important pieces of advice to listen to, but I'm pretty sure that there's going to be a percentage of people watching this video that aren't going to agree with me because they are a little bit controversial, to be perfectly honest. So if you make money from magic and you want to know 5 pieces of advice, I'm going to break them down right now. Let's get to it. Okay, so the first piece of advice I can give you is don't bother with YouTube. Don't bother with YouTube. If you are a professional magician, if you make your living going out and performing magic, do not bother with YouTube unless you are prepared to spend hours and hours and hours on it. And I'll tell you for why, right? I see so many, and I used to do this, okay? Before I understood YouTube properly, at the beginning of the pandemic, I set up Magic TV, and I spend a lot of time looking into the YouTube algorithm. I spend a lot of time thinking about YouTube. I read a lot of marketing books on YouTube. It's a fascinating subject. For those of you that don't know, my background is marketing. I've got a degree in marketing. I love marketing. I spend a lot of time thinking about it. My official title at Nonstop Kids and Slightly Unusual is Marketing Director. I love marketing, right? And I spend a lot of time thinking about YouTube, but I've made mistakes in the past before I actually started understanding YouTube properly, and it's the mistake that I see a lot of magicians making that are professional magicians. And what they do is they decide that they want to have a successful YouTube channel. Now, there's nothing wrong with wanting a successful YouTube channel, other than they think that the way to get a successful YouTube channel is to put performance videos on YouTube. So they set up a YouTube channel and they put tons of performance videos on there. Or, this is the other thing that they do, they put videos on there, and I've done this as well, in all honesty, but they put videos on there like, hey, 5 pieces of advice to make sure your wedding is amazing, vlog. And it's a 20-minute video, nothing to do with magic, but hey, my name's Craig and I'm a professional wedding magician. So because of that, I feel like I can give you advice on how to plan your wedding. And then there's advice on how to pick a venue, how to do this, how to do that, doing venue reviews. Hey, my name's Craig and I'm here at this venue and I'm going to give you a review of it and tell you exactly what I think. Their YouTube channel tends to go like that. And then what happens is, and this pretty much happens across the board every single time I see a professional magician set up a YouTube channel, they'll set the channel up, they'll go really like crazy at first, and they'll put loads of videos up because they've got loads of ideas, loads of long form content. They might do some short form content as well, but a lot of the time it's long form content. And it'll get to like 3 or 4 months in, they'll have virtually no subscribers, they'll have virtually no interaction on their YouTube channel at all, and they'll end up giving up. And it's better to not do it, to be perfectly honest. If you're going to set up a YouTube channel, you have to ask yourself a question. Why do you want to have this YouTube channel? What's your reason to have a YouTube channel? If your reason for having a YouTube channel is to get more gigs, to book more gigs, to get more money, there are a million ways of doing that much better, more effectively than having a YouTube channel. Because that will not happen. All you'll do is you'll put your time and heart and soul into YouTube, and it'll end up you'll have a few views, you'll have a few subscribers, and then you'll give up, and then it looks even worse because your show reels will be on YouTube. So what will happen is somebody, a prospective client, will click on YouTube and look at one of your show reels, and then they might click onto other videos on there, and they'll realize that you've got all of these videos that you stopped doing a year ago that have got virtually no interaction, and you don't come across as a bigger deal as you're trying to portray yourself on your website. Now, the caveat to that is you can make money, you can be successful on YouTube, you can build a career as a magician on YouTube, but realistically, it's doing the sort of stuff that you see Dan Rhodes do, where you're putting literally 10 or 15 shorts videos up a day. You're just constantly uploading videos onto shorts, onto shorts, onto shorts. You're constantly uploading those videos all of the time. And by uploading those videos all the time and constantly putting videos up online, you're going to build up more subscribers, more subscribers, more subscribers, and then you're going to get people watching, not necessarily to book you, but you're building up this presence on YouTube with hundreds of thousands of subscribers. That can then be a great piece of social proof. So when you're speaking to your clients, you can go, well, yeah, I have 500,000 viewers, 500,000 subscribers on YouTube. I'm a really big deal, and you come across as great. But unless you're prepared to put into the time and effort, which most professional magicians won't do, because when you're a professional magician, you're running your business. So you've got to run the marketing side, but that's only one small part of it. You've got to run the bookkeeping, the admin, the accounts. You've got to go and hustle and have meetings and go to networking events. And then you've got to go out, actually be a magician and go and do the thing that's going to ultimately make you the money. And that's not even taking into consideration magic conventions, learning more tricks, whatever the case may be. There's a lot of work to be done, and most people can't afford to spend literally all day, every day producing content to put on YouTube. And like I say, ask yourself why you want to do it. Now, I spend a lot of time on YouTube. As you know, I put about 20, 25 videos on YouTube a week, Magic TV. But I know who my audience is. My audience isn't people that want to book me for an event. People that want to book me for an event should hopefully never find Magic TV. Magic TV is designed for magicians. And even then, busting my balls for basically 3 years, I've got almost 20,000 subscribers. It's not exactly setting the world on fire. Now, I know I could probably put all of my time and effort into shorts, and then I could maybe get way more subscribers if I just constantly put shorts out there. But I don't want to do that. That's not the purpose for Magic TV. The purpose of Magic TV is to help me reach a niche and put content up online that I think will help magicians in one capacity or another. I hope this video is going to help magicians in one capacity or another. That's why I do YouTube. It's not to be that next Dan Rhodes. That's not why I do it. And you have to ask yourself a question. Why are you doing YouTube? Are you doing YouTube because you want to help, you want it to help get you more gigs? Because the only way YouTube is going to help you get more gigs is by putting your show reel on there and then embedding that show reel onto your website and then sending that that YouTube link out to anybody that emails in saying, hey, this is my show reel. I'm really good. And then maybe putting some live performances on there as well so people can see a live unedited performance of you performing at a gig. It's not going to be, and you know, I talked about, oh, you know, here's this video about why you should be a wedding magician. Those videos never do any good. Because honestly, if you're a bride and groom, you've just got engaged and you're going to get married, you are going to be inundated with advice. You are going to suddenly, the algorithm on Facebook's going to pick up. So's it the algorithm on YouTube. You're going to see hundreds of professional wedding planners that are pushing content to you constantly to try and get you to use their services. And why on God's green earth would Susie and Simon, who are getting married next year, not want to take the advice of this professional wedding planner who's put this 20-minute video on based on planning weddings for 20 minutes, and they go, well, honey, that sounds really good, but instead I think we're going to watch Magic Boris, because Magic Boris has put a 15-minute video up on how to actually plan a perfect wedding. But he's a magician. I know he's a magician, but he does magic at weddings, so he knows what he talks about. Said no fucking bride and groom ever. The bottom line is, nobody's going to watch those videos. Nobody's going to watch those venue reviews or any other videos that you do. And it's just going to make your social media is going to make your YouTube channel look like a wasteland. If you want to do YouTube, great. I want to do YouTube. I want to do YouTube. I want to put videos out for magicians, so I do YouTube. I don't really care about what I make from it. I don't really care about how big it's going to get because it's something I enjoy doing. It's something I want to do. If you want to get more gigs, which is really the only reason, I remember at the beginning of the pandemic, there was this Facebook page for professional magicians, and they were like, hey, you subscribe to my YouTube channel, I'll subscribe to your YouTube channel, and then when we get 1,000 subscribers, we can make money from YouTube. Woo! Because people think that is, 4,000 hours of watch time and 1,000 subscribers means that you're going to make tons of money. No, it doesn't. I've got millions of views. My watch time is insane. I can't tell you exactly what it is at the moment because I don't know. But it's about 25,000 a month, maybe more, 30,000. I don't know. And I've got like almost 20,000 subscribers. I make 500 quid a month. If you're trying to do YouTube to make money, it ain't going to work unless you put a lot of time and effort in, and then the rest of your business would suffer. If I didn't have 10 members of staff, 11 members of staff back there running my business for me, what I do in here for you lot would massively impact my business. So look, ultimately, point number one, don't bother with YouTube. Stick your show reel up on there, stick a few performance videos up on there, embed them on your website, and focus on other stuff if you want to get more gigs. Okay, point number two, the second controversial piece of advice for professional magicians would be, don't bother with business cards. Please don't bother with business cards. There is absolutely no point whatsoever. Unless you want to have a business card that you can use to do out to lunch or a billet peak or a centre tear or something, don't bother. My business cards are about 10 years old and I've got tons of them and I never give them out. Because these days, there's so much. Well, first of all, there's so much better way to get work than word of mouth. A lot of the people that say I get all of my work from word of mouth have probably died of hunger right now, to be honest. If you haven't got a decent digital marketing strategy, if you haven't got a decent strategy that involves doing something other than giving out business cards, you're fucked. There's a full-time professional magician in the UK that raves about business cards, and as far as I'm aware, he hardly gets any work. Business cards is not the be-all and end-all. Look, if you want to give some business cards out to people, that's fine. But ultimately, this is what's going to happen. You're going to wow this table. You're going to go up to a table, a group of people at an event, and you're going to wow it. And you're going to go, hey, we'd like a business card. And you're going to give some business cards out, and maybe they'll pick them up, maybe they won't. Or maybe somebody will ask you for a business card. Oh, that's really good. Can I have a business card? And then what's going to happen is they'll take the business card. If they don't leave it on the table, they'll put it in their bag or they'll put it in their pocket. And then what will happen is they'll probably, get involved in something else because your performance is over. Now they're having a different conversation. They'll get home, they'll take their suit off, they'll relax. Then they're at work the next day. And at some point, they put the suit back on and they go, what's this? Oh, it's a business card from that magician guy. Oh, we don't need that. Throw it in the bin. Now, I'm not saying that's always the case. Will business cards get you work occasionally? Probably. However, it's not very often. More often than that, these days, you get your work through digital marketing. You get your work from online marketing strategy. You get your work from SEO by making sure people find your website. That's how you get work. I don't give out business cards, even if somebody asks for one. I'll tell you exactly what I do if somebody asks for a business card. And here's what you should do from a sales point of view. If somebody asks for a business card, it means that they are interested in you for a particular event. Very rarely do people ask for a business card if they've got nothing in mind. If they've watched you perform and they like you, it might be a charity event. It might be a company booking. It might be their daughter's 18th birthday party. It might be they're getting married. I don't know what it is. Something's going to be on their mind. So you go, I can give you a business card, but can I ask, is there a particular event that you've got in mind? Now, if they say no, I just want to have your business card, which has never happened to me, by the way, by all means, give them a business card. However, 99 times out of 100, they're going to go, oh yeah, getting married next year, I need a magician. And then you go, all right, what's the date? And they'll tell you the date. You then go, well, let me just check I'm available first of all, else there's no point in giving you a business card. And that's where you use some fear of loss. What date did you say? Morning or evening? Or you're not too sure yet? Or evening? Yeah, I can do that for you. Yeah, that's absolutely fine. Or whatever you're going to do. You say, yeah, I can do that for you. I tell you what, would you like me to give you a call in the next day or two and just talk you through what I can do, because it varies very differently from booking to booking, and what you're seeing me do here today might not necessarily be the best thing that's going to work at your event. Can I give you a call? Yeah, of course you can. They're not going to say no. They're inquiring about your services. Brilliant. What's the best day to call? Well, it's Saturday now. Call me on Tuesday. Fine. Can I take your phone number? Yeah, cool. It's this. Boom. And what I'll do before I call you, I'll send you an email with my show reel and just some information about me. Can I take your email address? Yeah, brilliant. Okay, I got to run because I'm getting around all the other tables. I'm trying to perform for everybody. But you've seen what I do. What I'll do is I'll give you a call on Tuesday and I'll drop you an email tomorrow morning with a link through to my show reel so you can see what I do. Okay, thanks very much. Bye. So now what you've done is you've took somebody vaguely asking for a business card, which will probably end up in the bin. That's what's going to happen. Even if they've got an event in mind, they'll forget about the business card. And when they go to plan the event, they'll go, right, we're probably going to need a magician. It was that magician in that event a few weeks ago that was really good. Could you remember his name? No, I can't. No, me neither. I tell you what, just Google magicians. And do you know what will happen? They'll find me, because I put a lot of time and effort and money into making sure that people find me when they put magician into Google. And all of that hard work that you've done has just paid off for me. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Cheers. Instead, don't do that. Instead, take their phone number, take their email address, send them a nice email, very professional, great to meet you, hope you enjoyed my performance, this is the URL, I promised you, blah, 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 I'll give you a call on Tuesday. And then you give them a call on Tuesday. And I guarantee you 50% of the time, you'll book it in. And even if you don't book it in, they are more informed about what you do. They're more informed about what it is that you can do for their event than they would have been if you'd just given them a business card. So don't bother with the business cards. They're rubbish. Instead, think about it from a sales point of view and look at each request for a business card as a lead that you can use to follow up and get the booking. Okay, here's the next one. It's one that I'm very, very passionate about. You need more than 5 tricks to be a professional magician. I'm going to say that again, just in case it hasn't sunk in. You need more than 5 fucking tricks to be a professional magician. I am absolutely fucking sick and tired of seeing advice on Facebook groups and advice on forums from people that go, oh, you only need 5 tricks, that's all you need. You just need an omni deck, you need a pack of cards, double cross, you need this, you need that, and that's all you need, and then you can be a professional magician. No. If you've got your 5 tricks and you only do your 5 tricks, you can be a shite professional magician. And you can go and get bad feedback and be all kinds of shite. That's the way it is. You don't want to be a professional magician and just have 5 tricks. You should constantly be trying to evolve. You should constantly be trying to improve your act. Look at all the stage shows. A lot of stage magicians, I'm talking about close-up magicians here, by the way, because a lot of stage magicians, I'm an illusion act, right? And I do illusion shows. I don't change my illusion act around all the time, although I still do. Last year, I bought 5 new illusions for the show. This year, I've already bought 1 new illusion for the show. I'm changing it around all the time, but what we'll find is a lot of stage magicians, especially if they're working like a holiday park circuit, what they'll do is every year they'll do a brand new show. They'll just completely reinvest in a brand new show. Not close-up magicians. No, what are you doing now? I'm doing fiber optics and then I'm doing extreme burn. Oh, really? You were doing that 10 years ago, weren't you? Yes, I'm still doing it. It still works 10 years. In 10 years' time, I've done it for all 10 years and it still works. Really? It still works. Have you thought about putting another trick into your act maybe at some point? No, because these work. You're fucking shit. Fucking go and become a dustbin. Honestly, I'm getting really wound up by this. You should constantly be trying to evolve. You're constantly trying to improve. You're constantly trying to get better. I'm not saying go and buy every new trick that comes on the market. I'm not saying go and buy any tricks at all if you don't want to. But you should be constantly focused on trying to put new stuff into your act, trying to put new stuff into your repertoire. The amount of times... so I run an entertainment agency. We get a lot of bookings. The amount of times that me and Matt and Liz and Sarah and Kay get phone calls and they go, yeah, we're after a magician. We've had one for the last 2 or 3 years and honestly, we're looking for a change. Oh, really? How come? Oh, well, to be honest, they do the same stuff and they're very, very good, but we just need to freshen it up a little bit. Do you know why they feel the need to freshen it up? Because you've been going to their event for the last 3 years and you've been doing the same fucking tricks every single fucking time. And the amount of people that contact us saying, yeah, we need a new... And you know what? I've been working at some venues for the last 15 years because we change it up. When I do a stage show, and we're booked to do a stage show, we've just took a booking yesterday for an illusion show for the 12th of December 2024, 5th time that they've booked this illusion show. Very high-end client. Why have they booked us? Because every single year I have wrote down on our calendar entry, on our online calendar entry, I've wrote down the exact show that we do for them. 45-minute show, I've wrote down the exact show that I did for them. The following year, wrote it all down. Following year, wrote it all down. So every year we turn up and we do a completely different show. Completely different show, because I'm proud of my act and I want it to change around a little bit. If I'd have done the same show 5 years in a row, I guarantee we wouldn't be getting that booking still right now. I guarantee we wouldn't. If you want more repeat bookings, you change your show round, you change your close-up around, you change the tricks round that you do, so the client isn't seeing the same thing over and over again. The amount of times that I've seen restaurant performers lose their residencies because the staff are bored of seeing the same tricks. Oh, well, it's not the staff that watch the magic, it's the customers. Yes, it may be the customers that watch the magic, but the staff are the ones that report back to the manager. And if they're seeing the same tricks, that sounds like a negative. Also, if you're going to an event like a wedding or a corporate do, and you've only got your little 5 tricks, it's like fucking John Cena, 5 moves of doom. You can't see me. Nobody want to fucking see you because you've got too few fucking tricks. But you go to an event and you've got your same little 5 tricks of doom, right? And you've got 2 hours there, and you've got to get around as many people as possible, and you're doing the same tricks. So you're doing a set. So with 5 tricks, maybe you've got 2 sets. 1 set, second set, 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 and you keep going until your head explodes, right? At the end of the day, these people are going to be talking and we go, oh, the magician was really good. What did he do? Oh, he threw a Rubik's Cube up and sold it. Oh, he did that to me. He did that to me as well. Oh, I didn't see that. I saw him take a card and make it come to the top of the deck. Oh, I saw that one. I saw that one. I saw that one. I try to make sure when I go to a close-up job that every single group of people sees something different. Now, that's not always possible. That's not always the case. But I try to do that as much as possible because I know that by doing that, it's going to make me stand out. Because then when people talk about it afterwards and they talk to the client about it afterwards, they're going to go, oh, I saw this. Really? I saw this. I saw this. I saw this. I saw this. And like I say, I'm not advocating you go out and buy every new trick that comes out, although you really should buy every trick brought out by Craig Petty, Creator of the Year 2023, 2022, 2021. If you see a name on here, if you see a name on the product and it says Craig Petty, go and buy it immediately. Just saying. But I'm not saying that you should go out and buy every single trick that's ever been created. No, but try to improve your act. Try to do something different. And I'll tell you right now, the people that do the same 5 tricks over and over again, they are lazy. They are absolutely fucking lazy. They're the same people that go to the gig. And I've worked with them. I've seen it in action. I've seen it happen. They turn up to the gig and they go and sit down out the way. And then when it's time to start, they do a table, maybe 2 tables. Then they go outside, have a vape. And then they'll do another table. Then they go to the bar and have a drink. And this is all in the 2 hours they're meant to be performing. And if you think I'm talking about you, I am. You know who I'm talking about. You're probably watching this. You can't call me because you've blocked me. But you know who I'm talking about, right? I've seen it happen. It's laziness and it's the 5 moves of doom. Yeah, don't know what else to say to you. If you're a professional magician, you can't survive on 5 tricks. Go and learn some more. Have some fucking self-respect and actually go out and have a repertoire that you can be proud of. Okay, so point number 4, the 4th controversial piece of advice that I'm going to give you is it's fine to do a competitor analysis. So what do I mean by competitor analysis? Well, it's a valid thing that you can do. So it's very looked down on. This is probably going to be the big controversial one. It's very looked down on if you're a magician and you try to find out the prices of other magicians. Like it might be ringing up and going, "Hi, I'm trying to book an event. Can you tell me how much you charge, please?" Or it might be sending an email. It's very looked down on. It's below the belt, according to a lot of magicians. Oh, you shouldn't do that because that's lying. That's deception. Yeah, like hello, fucking magician, right? You shouldn't do that. That's what a lot of people say, right? But the problem is, magicians are the biggest egotistical people on the fucking planet. And if you openly ring them up and say, "Hey, how much do you charge for an event?" They're going to times it by 5. Times it by 5, and that's going to be their answer. They're not going to give you the truth. They're not going to give you the truth. They're going to go, "Oh, right, okay, I charge £4,000 for a 30-minute close-up job." Do you fuck? Now, are there people out there that do that do really high-priced gigs and they charge really high? Absolutely, 100%. Of course there are. Yes. And you know, there's a reason why they charge that much, and that's great. And they probably turn away a lot of work because, and there's nothing wrong with charging higher. There's nothing wrong with charging low. You charge what you want to charge. That's absolutely fine. That's not what this piece of advice is about. The point I'm trying to make is, if you ask somebody their price that they charge, they are going to inflate it to you. Most magicians will inflate it to you. They'll put a 0 on the end or something like that. And I know this because I've posted in things like Magic Gig Share. I've posted gigs. I remember a few years ago, just before the pandemic, I had a contract with Odeon. I needed to supply magicians to about 5 Odeon. No, every Odeon around the UK. There were about 40 Odeons, 50 Odeons. And there were 4 dates through December, key dates, Fridays and Saturdays. And they had a small budget. It was a smaller budget than normal. I think they only had £225 to pay the actual magician. And I put it on Magic Gig Share, and my office coordinated all of the people that were prepared to go out for £225 on a Christmas date. And a lot of them were the people that were saying, "Oh, I only go out for £1,000. I only go out for 800." And yet, on a Saturday in December, they were happy to go out for like way less than that. These are the same people that when I put stuff on Magic Gig Share, they PM me. They don't actually comment on the thread because they don't want people to see that they're happy to do a gig that's maybe 250, 300, 350, whatever it is. They don't want to put that. So they PM me separately. I'm like, "Oh, I'm available for this gig, by the way, if it's still available." I'm like, "Okay, good to know. Cheers." That's exactly what happens, right? Now, there's people, like, I know that there's certain people like Alan Hunson, Richard Young, David Penn, you know, there's a lot of people, you know, a lot of the people in the academy thing, Paul Martin, they charge a higher amount. That's great. This is not me saying you shouldn't charge a high amount, because you should. It's not saying that you should charge a smaller amount. You should. You charge whatever you fucking want to charge. I don't care about that. What I care about is the fact that there's people out there, a lot of people, a big percentage will say they're charging one thing and actually charge another. The same people that are saying, "Oh, I charge £1,000 for a half an hour's work," were the same people that were screaming about having no money the day after the pandemic started. And the biggest question that I get on my channel is, what happens? You know, how do I charge? They're new into performing professionally, and they don't know how much to charge. And they go, "Oh, how much should I charge? Should I charge this much or this much? Should I charge higher? Should I charge smaller? Should I charge this? Should I charge that?" And they're confusing themselves. And they're worried about pricing themselves out of the booking, but they're also worried about charging too little and not charging what they're worth. They get advice on Facebook from everybody, and normally that advice is absolute bollocks. And they don't know what to do, and they're tying themselves up in knots. Which brings me to my point. It's absolutely fine to do a competitor analysis, because realistically, there's several factors that determine how much you should charge. Your self-worth, how much you need to run your business, what your income needs to be, how much, you know, you want to value yourself, how experienced you are, how good you look on a website. You know, is your social proof making you look like a £1,000 magician or a £100 magician? There's so many factors, but one factor is what your competition charges. That's a really important factor, because if everybody in your area is charging 500 quid and you're charging 100 quid, you probably aren't going to get many bookings if you're after the same amount, if you're after the same type of booking as they are, because they're going to look at you and go, well, why are you charging so less? You must be shit. But if you're charging way over the odds as well, it's going to be a problem, because nobody's going to book you, especially if you haven't got much social proof. So what's the way to get around all this? The way to get around it is by doing a competitor analysis, and just either you or somebody else making a list of what all the prices are in the area. If you go in as a punter asking the question, you're going to get a better idea of what everybody else charges, and then you know what to do. I'm not saying you should undercut people, because you shouldn't, but you don't want to go massively over, you don't want to go massively under, especially if you're new to magic. You want to kind of fall in line with everyone else, again based on several other factors, including experience and social proof. You're not going to get that truthful answer if you just ring up and ask people and say, hey, I'm a magician, how much do you charge? You're just not. And if you kind of make up a figure without knowing what the industry, kind of the industry standard is in your area, again, you're not going to know what to do. So ring people up and pretend you're a punter and tell people that you're looking for a magician, get the prices, and then base your prices on that. The point I'm trying to say is it's absolutely fine to do a competitor analysis if it helps you set your prices effectively. And the final point, point number 5, this kind of comes back to the first point. If you remember right at the beginning of this video, I made a point about YouTube, and I said that don't bother with YouTube. You know, it's just a waste of time for the majority of professional magicians. I'm going to extend that for this final point, because I'm so passionate about this final point. It's better to do nothing than half-arse it. I'll say that again, because that's really important. It's better to do nothing than half-arse it. Now, this can apply to Instagram. However, it can also apply to vlogs, it can apply to blogs, it can apply to Facebook, it can apply to Twitter, it can apply to absolutely anything. It's better to do nothing than half-arse it. Let's take blogs as a consideration. For example, it's really important to have a blog on your website. It helps with your SEO. It helps with your search engine optimization. It makes you look like an expert if you're talking about subjects. So, you know, my company, Nonstop Kids Entertainment, for example, people are looking for a kids entertainer. If they see blogs that we've written on, hey, what's the best time for a kids party? What time should you plan food for a kids party? What's the best venue for a kids party? How much should you pay for a kids party? All of these different things, they make us look like experts in our chosen field, because we're giving people advice. It's also good because when Google is indexing websites, it sees that we're constantly updating our website. We look relevant, and it's great. And when people come onto our website, they go, bloody hell, these people write a blog every single day. They obviously take what they do seriously, right? Writing blogs is great. However, I can't tell you the amount of websites that I've gone on and I go and look at the blog, because I'm always looking around at other people's websites. I enjoy marketing. I enjoy seeing what other people are doing in the industry. And the amount of websites that I go on and I click on the blog section, and the last blog was 7 months ago, and it was at the beginning of the year, and it says, I'm back. I'm sorry I've not updated this blog for a while, but I am back now. I've been very busy, but now I'm back and I'm going to start blogging again every week. I've got lots of really important information to tell you, and this is amazing. And that was 7 fucking months ago, and I haven't wrote a blog since then. And before then... there was probably 2 years before they wrote a blog, and it was like, hey, I'm doing this every week, and then there's like 6 blogs in total, and the first one is, welcome to my website, my name is John and I'm a magician and I do magic, please check out my website, I'll be back soon. It's fucking embarrassing. It's embarrassing. I'll say it again. It's fucking embarrassing. Think about it from the point of view of someone who's going onto your website. They go onto your website, right, okay, darling, we're looking for a magician for our wedding. I think this is perfect. Look, he's got a picture there of somebody smiling and happy. That's good, isn't it? Look at a picture there of somebody smiling and happy. Let's look at his show reel. That's really good. Let's look at his blog. Well, that's a bit shit, isn't it? Don't worry, let's have a look at his social media. click on the Facebook icon, because when you create your website, you have your links to your social media, don't you? You can click on Facebook. And the last post on Facebook was from like fucking January 2022. Now the pandemic's open, I'm ready for bookings. And then there's not been another single fucking Facebook post since then. I've got to laugh. There is a name in magic. I'm not going to say who it is. There's a UK person in magic. It's just fucking shit. This guy has put himself out there as an expert in getting gigs. I am an expert in getting gigs. I know how to get more gigs than anybody else. I was like, oh, okay, I'm interested in that sort of subject. That subject interests me. But I don't, when somebody, they're pitching a book or a lecture, when somebody does that, I go and look, I do my own research before I go and look at the book. And I found the guy's Facebook page, and the last post was from 2022 on their Facebook page. This is the same guy that has a book, and part of the strategy about how to get more gigs, and part of the strategy was effective social media usage. Yeah, what's your effective social media usage? Fucking take your social media, turn it up into a little ball and shove it up your ass, because honestly, and this is, look, there's a sixth point. I mentioned this on the video last week about don't listen to people's advice. That's another one. There's an amount of people who set themselves up as experts and they talk absolute bollocks. Look, I'm not an expert at anything. I am not an expert. I know stuff, yes, but I am not an expert at anything, and I never will be. And the day that I think I know everything is the day that I shut this whole fucking thing down. I am not an expert at anything. But the bottom line is, I've got an office with 10 or 11 members of staff there, and we book about 18,000 events a year. I know what I'm talking about when it comes to getting bookings and getting inquiries. I really do. And I'm telling you right now, if you turn your Instagram, your Facebook, your YouTube, your whatever into a wasteland, then what's the point? It's gonna do more harm than good. It's better to do nothing. People, when they become a professional magician, they're right. Okay, I've got so much to do. Let's write down everything I'll do. Facebook, right? I'm gonna post every single day on Facebook. Right? Instagram, blah, 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 blah. And then after a couple of months, they get lazy and they're like, oh, let's not bother. It's better if you're gonna do that. It's better to do nothing than half-arse it. It really is. So, for example, I used to do a lot of motivational speaking. And the pandemic hit, and I haven't done a single motivational speaking gig since the pandemic hit. So my personal website hasn't been touched. CraigPetty.com hasn't been touched. My social media for Craig Petty, Motivational Magician, hasn't been touched because I needed to prioritize something else. During the pandemic, I needed to prioritize surviving and living. So I had to focus on virtual magic shows and stuff like that and keeping my businesses running when I was absolutely fucked. When I came out of COVID and the world opened up, I needed to focus on non-stop kids. I was going out running around doing kids shows left, right and centre whilst running Magic TV, whilst creating magic, whilst running Slightly Unusual. I needed to do that. Something had to give. And what gave was my own personal website, which just literally hasn't been touched. Now in 2024, one of my goals is to start motivational speaking again. That's something that I want to do. I enjoy doing it. I think you guys know I enjoy helping people. I enjoy helping business people as well. So that whole website is currently having a rebrand. And then once it's had a rebrand, you better believe the social media and the blogs are going to be exactly the same as what you see in my other companies. How many blogs does SU put up a week? 7. NSK, 7. It's going to be the same. I'm going to be putting 7 blogs up a week. I'm going to be constantly putting stuff up on Facebook, constantly putting stuff up on Instagram. But that's not going to happen until the website relaunches. And I know what I need to do in order to do that. And I had to take a step back from that because I had other priorities. There's something that I've been, it doesn't really matter, but there's somebody who I feel like I've let down a little bit because over the last year, we were talking about doing something. And we had plans to do something to do with one of my companies, but moving it in a different place. And I just, I'm very good at knowing what I can do and what I can't do. and I'm very, very busy, and something has to give. You have to prioritize. When you're talking about time management, things have to prioritize, and I just haven't got time to do everything. So I have to focus on the stuff that's the most important, and that sounds cutthroat, but that's business at the end of the day. And bringing it back to my points, as it says here, it's better to do nothing than half-arse it. If you haven't got time to write a blog once every couple of weeks, don't have a blog. If you haven't got time to post regularly on Facebook, don't have a Facebook account. It's as simple as that. Despite what all the advice is, oh, you got to be on here, you got to be on this platform, you got to be on the other platform, you got to be here, you got to be there, you got to be... Yeah, you only have to be there if you're going to be present on there. If you're not going to be present on there, don't do it. So there you go, guys. That's another 5x5 in the bag. Do me a favor, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Now, you want to see more videos like this, like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below. If you want more business advice, it's simply a case of going to www.thenetrix.com, going onto the silver level. When you get onto the silver level, there's access to a ton of business courses, with more being added all the time. So go check that out. And don't forget, the Netrix is the #1 streaming platform in magic. At least I believe it is. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. I will see you again soon. But this is Craig. This was a 5x5. This is Magic TV. And I'll see you soon. Have an amazing day.